Good afternoon to all. I'm Victor Acevedo, and I would like to present the scripting extension in gvSIG 2.0. Well, we've seen a direct demo from Manuel. I'm not going to do it right now, but we might try it at the end of my presentation to see how it really works. As I told you, I'm going to talk about scripting extension in gvSIG 2.0. We must say that gvSIG right now is a GIS with lots of function. It's a heavy client, meaning that we have lots of tools with functions helping us to manage geo information. It's a big software, but it's not doing anything because, well, the tools are not existing, or because the tool does exist, but it's not doing what we are really expecting it to be and to do, or because, well, the data that we have to use are not compatible with the gvSIG tool that we should use in that situation. So what can we do? Well, we can always say, look, gvSIG is not doing it, so, well, then we don't do it. In our daily life, the possibilities well, to follow that option are very small. In general, we don't say, look, gvSIG is not working on that, so let's forget about this. We would never tell that to our boss. Obviously, we can also program it. But we need to program a gvSIG. We need to have some programming knowledge in Java to know the gvSIG infrastructure, read a lot, and to have some time. If it's not taking too much time, but I have to invest 3 weeks to create a specific plugin, it's too much work. We can also have heavy clients on our desktop. Unfortunately, well, we don't have that possibility very often because we are working in a confederation, or because, well, there are other problems because we see that data are not compatible. I have to import, export, I have to save them. We have some errors occurring. I have to invest in time to know the behavior of those heavy clients on my desktop. This is not an option. So we can also program our functions, our utilities that we so much need. And we want to do it simply away from the gvSIG complexity. And this is where scripting extension has a role to play, or at least, well, this is what we hope. We want to program some function or task that we will be able to do simply and with full access. So I would like to see what are the advantages of the scripting extension in gvSIG 2.0. It is fully embedded in gvSIG. It means that in gvSIG, in the one that we are running with all the objects that we have loaded, views, layers, images, maps, this is what is available in our extension, and it is when we are running the script. It also allows the use of programming languages. We have used Python. I will tell you why we have chosen Python, but if you are not feeling comfortable with that language, you can use any other language included in that extension, and you can build your script with that language too. We also have a interactive terminal. If you've been working with Python, I'm sure you have used it. You can test it, you can check, you know if you are running it or not, and you can check exactly what your code string is doing. And finally, we have a form editor embedded in the system too, allowing us to interact with the users. Why have we chosen the 2.0 version to give support to that extension? Because the architecture is much more comfortable for the development. That's the main reason. It's as simple as that. As a programmer, trying to create those functions, I have a better access to the function. Well, it means that I have to go quick. So, and obviously it's much more simple, it's much easier. So why are we using Python? Well, because it complies perfectly with the spirit of what you are reading. Belson and Sussman, in one of his programming book, he said that the program should be read by people and only from time to time by machines. So this is why, well, Python is a simple language allowing different types of programming. It's not only a scripting language. You can also use programming language with different types of codes. A link to object is very easy to export the information. We have different modules that can be included, well, for different advanced tasks. For example, we have the Mac module. We have different functions and method what to organize and create any programs. It has also a knowing curve that's quite short and easy to learn. And there are other SIG that are using it as a programming language. Because with other tools, well, they are not going to be able to program with other kind of languages. So let's see a bit the components of the scripting extension. The first thing that we see is the launcher. The launcher and it allows us to run it if simply by clicking on it. We also have the Python terminal. I don't know if you can see it from the back. Well, here we are printing the message. Then we are trying to give you another example, but here you see it is totally integrated in gvSIG, and you can have access to the different documents that we have loaded, and we can handle them with full interactivity. If I'm changing the name of the layer, well, the name is going to change too at the same time. I don't need to wait for the end of the extension. We have also the script editor inside that extension. So we have a toolbar, a menu bar. We also have the tree where we see the different available scripts with a difference when we do a double click. We are not running the script. We are loading it. So it is, we can edit it, we can introduce the code, we can change the code of the script that we have selected. And finally, we have the console. It's not interactive. The only thing that it does is showing the messages that are being published inside the script. For example, when we have a print and when we are running that line, we will see the result. We will get the information of the script running. And if there is any bug, any problem, well, it will also be shown on the view. Now we are going to see a real case that we have solved with the scripting extension. What we think that we have solved it, at least. So a week ago or a few days ago, we have received a mail of a person that had a shape with a field, a code, SIOSE, with a very difficult structure. That user wanted to extract out of that string the first three capital letters before the bracket, if there is a bracket, and if possible, the whole string. So gvSIG has a filter tool, but it is not really doing what the user was expecting. On the right, you see the code that might solve this problem. Well, it's a kind of a trick because it requires a series of parameters. those parameters are defined in another place. So instead of 10 lines, I need 25 lines to solve that problem. 25 lines that are written in a very short period of time can solve that problem, a problem that was blocking the whole program. We don't know yet if we have fully solved the program because I have not received any answer from Pablo confirming that we have solved his problem. What are we working on now? What is the future? Well, we want to have packages of script in order to distribute them more easily. We want to generate plugins. We want them to be scripts. A plugin might define different areas compared to gvSIG. It could define its integration in the menu bar. We can also distribute the script with different datas.
O módulos complejos.
We can also work around complex packages. So it could be a set of scripts packed in a plugin. We also want to be able to add scripts to the menu bar. You define a script. The editor, you can enable this to be able to have the button on the bar. We want to integrate scripts with the task manager. Right now you run the script, and if it does not interact with the script user, you don't know what is going on. If it modifies data, it does this opaquely, and the user doesn't know if it has been completed well, bad, and the user doesn't know right now what the progress is, what the status is. So we want to be able to tell the user how things stand, the status of the tool. We also want to integrate the form editor. We have this editor called Ave. Finally, we would like to have a help module. To know, it would require loading the Java docs in the scripting section and see how everything behaves. Having said this, I'd like to thank you for your kind attention. This was my presentation, and if we have time, I'd like to show you a little test. Cartography. Excellent. Let's see. We have a layer, a view. We'll load a layer. As you can imagine, this example is a very easy one. It's just to show you that we're fully integrated and can do things with what is embedded in gvSIG, gvSIG. We have this loaded layer. We're going to rename it. We're gonna call it Prueba Test. We open the scripting extension. Let's go directly to the console. The first time it takes a while. Now we have this console. It's open. We import the main library we've generated to support the scripting. We call one of the defined functions. This function takes us back to the active layer in our view, and we can call the resulting layer its name. As you can see, the name that it gives back to me is the one we have just chosen. So we can access features, the feature properties in the shape. We can modify them. You can do just about anything. Having said this, I will give the floor back to the chairman. Well, thank you so much, Victor, for your presentation. Are there questions? There's time for one question. Well, thank you, Victor.